Hey, hey, hey! Welcome back to another week of the Champions and Legends Weekly Warrior Happy Hour. Now we're gonna let everybody kind of get situated and get on. And man, I'm excited because we got some stuff for you today. So hang with me, and we'll talk about it in a second. Just let a couple more people get on. All right. See, can we see the magic screen here? Good, good, good. Everything is set. Yeah. Yeah. Health for Athletes are joined in. What's happening? There we go. Everybody's coming in now, baby. Great. Good to see y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. There's George. All right. So, guys, welcome back to another week of the Weekly Warrior Happy Hour, brought to you by Champions and Legends. Now, Champions and Legends produces CBD-based sports supplements for athletic preparation, performance, and recovery. Now, many of you know this, but we officially launched the Champions and Legends site, and the whole business is up and running as of July 1st. And in conjunction with that, we announced our athlete partners that, are excited about our products, but at the same time, these are amazing guys, man. James Harrison, two-time Super Bowl champ, is one of our partners. And we also have Thor Bjornsson, who is the strongest man in the world and HBO's hit show Game of Thrones star. And he's also on our athlete partner group. So I'm excited, man. So what you can do is go to the Champions and Legends site, register, and you have an opportunity to win all kinds of stuff, man. You can get a live Q&A on IGTV with either James or Thor. You can also get, a year's worth of Champions and Legends products. Now that is huge. And then we can also get you, you have a chance to win $2,500 worth of Champions Legends swag, t-shirts, hats, and a bunch of other cool stuff, and gift certificates for products. So just come on over and check us out, man. It's worth it because you have an opportunity to feel better naturally. And I stole that from James because that's how he feels about it. So anyway, let's see. Let's get started because my first guest will knock you out. Literally. Okay? And I am looking for Mr. Where is he? Here, hold on. We got our athletes there. There's James and Thor. Yeah. And these dudes, man, righteous. And then now I'm looking for Mr. Lou Savarese. Let's get him on. Where is old Lou? All right, Lou. Yep, we're waiting for Lou. So while we wait for Lou to come on, I will share with you a little bit more information. So if you haven't been to the site, it is fantastic. You have an opportunity to look at all the different products that are available, and you also have an opportunity to get some education on the education on CBD and other products of that nature. Let me see if he's here. Of our product lines. All right, Lou, where you at, buddy? All right. Let's see here. Let's get Lou on here. All right, hang with me now, y'all. Let's see here. Yeah, let's see here. Let's look for him. Okay, Lou. Come on now. Now, Lou, Lou has told me that he he's taken a lot of hits over the years, and he says he needs to get reminded a few times. So let me see here. Where are you, Lou? Man, come on, bro. Well, you know what? Until Lou gets here, we're gonna go on and chop it up with Abdul Foster, who is my second guest, and I see him here. So I'm gonna bring him on. Let me see here. Boom. All right, so we'll get Lou here in a second. We also have a ton more athletes joining our team. We have some of the top in their field in adventure, sports. Man, I don't even know where to start. We over the next few months, the next month and a half, we will introduce another 6 or 8 athletes. We have actually a all-pro quarterback coming on board. I'm not saying who it is. We have mountain climbers. We have CrossFitters, guys that are really behind our products, and it's exciting. It's totally exciting. Let's see. Let me go ahead and bring on Abdul Foster, who is a champ in his own right. Let's see here. Where is it? Here we go, Luke. Oh, there we go. Okay, Abdul, come on in.
My man.
Everybody, check out Abdul Foster.
What's up, baby?
Coming on, man.
I appreciate that. No problem, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, man, we have a lot to talk about because you are a master trainer. You train guys at the top of the game. You work with regular Joes like me. You also write.
Yep.
Now, did I hear you say something about doing poetry as well?
Oh man, I wouldn't say I do a lot of poetry, but I have in the past. I write. I don't know if I do poetry.
But you have all these creative skills, going, and so we're gonna talk about all of that. But I got a picture of you. How you like? How you like that one, huh?
That's all right. I appreciate you not using the hurdler one.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Abdul was a hurdler in college, or
Yeah, college and high school. Yeah.
College and high school. Was it the highs or was it the lows?
Come on, man. I did highs, man. Come on now.
Okay, so I was a track athlete myself. I did the highs, on occasion.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, I'll leave that to you guys, going out. So you are an athlete way back in the day.
Okay.
And, we have so much to talk about. Let's start off with you. What has been going on with you? Tell me, talk about what you're all about right now.
Man, quite a bit actually. I've transitioned. I used to own a gym here. It was called 9 Innovations. I just not too long back in December of last year, I transitioned out, decided to go ahead and run an academy. And so it's still called 9 Innovations, but the academy is geared towards kind of educating trainers basically. In my field, I kind of did a lot of that anyways. I brought a lot of trainers in, and some of the top trainers in the city now kind of came underneath my tutelage. So, I already did it, and I have more of a passion for helping those within the industry other than just kind of training people. Not that I don't like training people. I do have a passion for that as well, and I still do some here and there. But I transitioned to running the academy now. So it was set to launch at the beginning of this year, but COVID kicked in, and you know how that goes. So, it got a little tough. But we're going to roll it out as soon as everything kind of settles down a little bit. And I'm actually going to still do an online program as well for people. So that's kind of what my expertise is now. I still we're still working on a tech platform that will kind of assist trainers in our industry. And on top of that, I actually opened up a program here. Again, COVID kind of happened, but the program was geared towards young men. Right. It was called HIM, and it was an acronym for Honor, Intellect, and Masculinity. and it was geared towards kind of helping young men, trying to bring back rites of passages within our communities a little bit. So,
Wow. Wow. Okay.
I'm thankful.
Yeah, very cool, man. What's real cool about that is you are giving back, and it sounds like this whole 9 academy about training the trainer.
Yes, yes,
That's huge to me because I have worked out with a lot of people. Okay,
right.
not all trainers are creative people.
That's a fact.
I'm just gonna say that not all trainers are created equal, and I've actually been injured at times. I've had to pull up because it's like, wait a minute, man, you got me doing something. I'm a finely tuned athlete.
Right. No, you are. Look, well, I'll give you credit. I work with you, man. You did pretty good.
For my age, right?
That's up to you.
Well, look, man, I enjoyed training with you. In fact, let's talk about the training piece. When you were really working out with Arian and some of the other guys from the league, tell me about that experience, man.
I always say I was spoiled because of the group of guys that I got to work with. Guys like my brother, Andre Johnson, Glover Quinn, James Ahedebo, these were really high character guys that for them, they woke up every day and this was their job and they took it serious, So
Right.
it was nice for me because me getting up 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, it made it that much easier because these guys were serious. They were family oriented men. They all had kids and that's kind of what they worked for. So it was for me, it felt like I just went to work out with my brothers every day. That's legitimately what it's like. So, the whole experience itself, I'll never trade. I learned a lot, met a lot of good people along the way, and now I'm just trying to pass all that knowledge that I got down to the next group of people coming in.
Absolutely, man. And the thing is, you're working with guys that they're putting their livelihood in your hand every time you work out.
Right.
And you're dealing with guys that have experienced injury and they're trying to get back in the game. And I can speak for my experience with you myself coming in, having a little issues with my back or, anything. You just like one little tweak here and there. I'm like, what? So we'll get into that. But let's talk about how, Arian had to play games get beat up as running back, and you had to get with him and consistently bring him back and be ready to play every Sunday. Right. What was that process like?
I would say this: my brother didn't really catch on to, rehabbing and taking care of your body as well until probably like the tail end of his career when he had some serious injuries and he kind of had to. But so it was it was different. There were times when my brother would leave a game and his body was beaten up. I remember his wife calling me one time and saying, hey, can you come and help your brother get to the restroom because he couldn't walk from his bed to the restroom.
What?
So, yeah, it was. I mean, when you're carrying the ball 25, 30 times a game, it's a load on your body. So, you're always taking 500-600 pound collisions all the time. That's a load. So, his younger years, he just tried to muscle his way through it. Matter of fact, in the 2010 season, he actually played that entire season, which he led the league in rushing with a broken collarbone, and he was just huffing his way through it. So when you're younger, you just have this mentality, this I'm indestructible, and so it was different. I didn't really get to do a lot of rehab with him, but as his older years came, and he had surgery on his back, he had tons of meniscus surgeries, shoulder surgeries, obviously his broken collarbone, tons of things. We had to make sure we took care of his body. So anytime he had a little pinch in his hammy, man, I'm researching like crazy, trying to figure out what's going on with him, if it has something to do with his back, if it's connected to his calf. We were just trying to find all the reasons possible, say, okay, we need to work on not what happens or what you feel when you're injured, but where it actually is coming from. So, you can do a lot if you have like a hamstring pull, put ice on it. There's a lot of things that you can do for an injury, but nothing to actually really solve the problem if it has to do with another part of your body. So we were trying to figure out exactly what was going on with him. So it was a lot of scrambling around trying to figure out what was going on after an injury to, having conversations with the doctors, to the trainers at the Texans facility, just saying, okay, we need to all be on one page and figure out what we can do to ensure that, that he can play on Sunday. So, that's kind of what it was like. It was a lot of work.
Right, right, right. And I understand that you were instrumental in him going for a different diet program. Was that did you guys
um,
collaborate on?
to be honest with you, so he went vegan. I want to say in 2016, if I'm not mistaken. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. 2013. 2013, he went vegan. Uh, he just decided one day. He watched a documentary. I think it was on Netflix, and he decided that he was going to go vegan.
Wow.
My advice is like, hey man, we were a month out from the season. I'm like, let's not do it right now. Let's let's get through some things and then we'll go. Let's do some research on it. Let's see how your body reacts to it. And he went vegan, and I want to say probably like the fifth or sixth game into the season, I could see that he was losing a lot of muscle mass. He was losing a lot of strength because he just didn't have that protein in his body he was used to. So, I was trying to convince him, hey man, like, bro, you need to start injecting some protein back into your diet a little bit, because it's clear as day that like you're losing some strength. He was getting really thin, but he felt good. That was a good thing. He felt really good. So, it was his decision all on his own. I just kind of stepped in and said, hey man, let's start eating some meat again a little bit.
I got you. I got you. Well, I mean, I worked out with you as a guest one time, and then got really involved. And I remember one time I had it was a lower back issue, and I was doing this that I knew, and you showed me like your little and you showed how if we did this size or maybe did this stretch, it would alleviate problem just like that. And I'm
Right.
like, wow. To where it was like kinesiology. That was. Let's talk about that.
Um,
One of the things to me that sets you apart from the general population that's out there. I just said.
I did out a little bit. Let me see. Am I there? Are you with me? You there? Oh man, we're having some Teddy Riley issues right now.
Yes.
You there? Hello?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're having some.
Well, what I said, yeah, I'm here. I'm still here. I'm still here. Little technicalities here. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay, so he left. He's gonna come back, I'm sure, and reconnect. Man, totally smart guy. Let's see here. Yeah. All right. Well, we can definitely talk a little bit about his book until he comes back. And let's see here. There we go. That's the name of Abdul's book. And let's see if we can get him back on here. The modern technology. Okay. Come on back now. There we go. Let's see. No. There he is. Here we go. Abdul coming on. Man, a little technology, but that's cool. We'll live. Yep, his signal must be pretty weak where he's at. But he is coming back. You can see him get on. But this book right here really breaks it down. You know, Abdul is a very smart guy, and when he trains you, he's watching every aspect of how your body is working, and that is really, really important. And he sees the things that you don't see. He watches the small things. And man, that's unfortunate that we're having such technical difficulties. Let's see here, we'll try him again. Boom. Add him again. There we are.
Brother.
Hey.
That's my man. I had some Teddy Riley internet over here.
We get that signal together, man. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Hey, you gotta forgive me. I live out in Rosenberg, so it's like I'm out in the boonies, fam.
Oh, okay. So that signal is a blessing when you're in quarantine,
man,
right?
Tell me about it.
So what we were talking about was the nuances of you know, the recovery and the fact that you focus so well on the small things.
Right.
I mean, being able to watch a person run that 40 yards, you can tell what needs to be adjusted, where there's weaknesses and things of that nature.
Right.
And one of the folks just asked about the book. So I put the book up while we were away. And
that's actually not my book. It's all right. It's all
good.
You know what? I have something better. I actually have the book right here. So you're good.
You got the okay.
I got the real version.
It said your name and well, let me
It's
just.
all good. No, it's got me connected to it, so no worries. But you know, the cool thing about the book, I'll say this is, you know, and I'll just be transparent for everybody here. In dealing with a publishing company, you have to kind of have a target market, right? It's very much like a business plan, so you want to target it. So I geared the book, and just because of kind of how I gained my name a little bit, I did some work with professional athletes, football players in particular. So I geared it towards an off-season program for football players. But in reality, it's really very universal, and anybody can use it. Anybody can kind of, you know, step off into the book. It's very easy to follow. It's a day-by-day, here's the exercise, this is what you do. I didn't get too much into the, you know, the nitty-gritty of the science behind it and what it all means, because a good portion of that stuff is theory anyways, in my opinion. But I just said, look, here's a program, follow it, and it can help you. You know, and it's just very cut and dry. I didn't do anything on nutrition, just because, again, everybody's body is different. And you can say that for everything in training. But in particular, the book is just very easy to follow. Just pick it up. It's a 3-month program. Follow it day by day, and you'll see some results. No question.
Okay. So some folks were wondering if there was some position stuff directly related to football.
There is in there. I have a movement portion at the beginning of every workout that you essentially have the option of doing. And if you follow the movement program, you'll get some stuff in there that it will essentially get you in shape. Again, it's a football program book, and I kind of had to make it for every position, right? So it wasn't just cornerbacks or DBs, linebackers. I focused on all the aspects of football in particular, or anybody just needing to get in shape. So I threw some conditioning portion, some conditioning aspects in there. There's some movement portions in there. Everything just to kind of get you moving in the right direction. Now, the specifics for, if you really want to get in the nitty gritty of running back or quarterback, wide receiver or cornerback, give me a call. I'll help you out with
that. Okay. All right. Your number will be made available.
Hit me up on IG. Do that
too. So, all right. So let's talk about preparation, because, you know, the Champions and Legends product lines are based on athletic preparation, performance, and recovery. Right. And, you know, you see it from the physical perspective. And we talked a little bit about injuries and how to bring guys back. Do you have any recommendations on the preparation side that are different than what you do on the recovery side? Some little tips that you can give us when it comes to the training and bringing people around.
Yeah, I'll say this. I'll say a good portion of injuries today are due from fatigue. If you have a knee that goes out, or a shoulder just gets rotated in the wrong direction, a good portion of them are due from you just being extremely fatigued and not being able to handle whatever it is you're trying to put your body through. So, for me, I'm big on getting guys in shape. I don't want to do any cool footwork drills with you. I don't want to do any type of lifting or anything until you're in shape. I want to make sure that you can handle whatever it is I throw in front of you. So, I'll just, as an example, what I did with my brother when I first got him after his rookie year in the league, man, I said, bro, we're going to get you in shape. Like, you're running miles. I don't care. Like, I've went through this ad nauseum with people in all levels of training. And the one thing I found that works for everybody is running. If you can't, it is, right? But when you run, you literally learn how your body moves, how it functions. You understand how your oxidative system works. Like, you figure out how you're breathing. Like, everything that has to do with your body and performance, you learn from running. So you have to run, right? And so when I get these guys running, that point alone kind of like bunny hops and just skips everything that we could do in the process of, there would be no injuries because they're in shape. They can handle all of the exercises and routines and workouts that I do with them. They're just in a different level once you get them in shape. So for me, it's running. I would say at the beginning, before, rehab's a little different, it's more specific. So you have a knee injury versus a hip injury or a back injury. There's different things that you have to do. But, prior to that, before, get in shape, man. Let's run. Let's put some. Did I lose you?
You there? Okay, you still there.
Yeah.
So so when we look at like that's on the preparation side, and that goes all the way through performance and recovery, right? So keep the running going.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you're working with the Andre Johnsons and your brother and everything like that, were they using, because they were always in pain, were they using over the counter, or were there some other alternatives that you found work to help them more on maybe even a natural way, where they get away from the over-the-counter pain meds and stuff like that?
Yeah. So for my brother in particular, I know when he had his back injury and he had surgery on his back, I think he went to Philadelphia to have his surgery. To be honest, to deal with a lot of the pain, he smoked weed. He's allergic to pain medicines and pain, but in our family, I can't take pain meds, and I know he can't take pain meds. So he smoked weed, but it alleviated the pain for him. It got him through the actual surgery. So, for him, it was definitely weed. There were a couple of other ointments that he did use that helped him, kind of deal with what he needed. You there? Hello?
Now, in terms of any type of testing with the league?
You there? I don't think it's mine this time. You there? I don't think I got the Teddy Riley internet this time, man.
Did that affect him when he was like any type of testing that had to be in the league? Well, it looks like I'm on freeze a couple of times.
It might be you, boss.
I don't really know how I'm freezing it up, but there it is. There it is. Don't go. Got you. You're back.
Mr. Landlord, what's up, boss? How you doing, man? You there? Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. I can hear you just
okay, bet. All right, I'm here.
Okay, cool. So going back to, was he worried about getting drug tested or anything, or was that just during the time he was off?
I think around that time they weren't, they didn't do heavy drug testing for a lot of guys. And just to be honest, a lot of high profile guys, they weren't testing them like that. So I don't think so. And I think at that point in time, when he was going through his injuries, it was like whatever he could do. It's, at that point, it's like, I just need to feel better. Like, damn the league, damn this contract and everything else going on. Let me just feel better, So I think that was his MO at that point in time. But, that definitely did help him. I know that.
Okay. Cool. Well, have you had any experience with CBD?
I have a little bit. There was actually an oil that I took a few times. I've had some anxiety issues. I want to say about 3 years ago, I had some anxiety issues. And, for me, just to kind of regulate it a little bit, I was actually taking some CBD oil, and it helped out quite a bit. So, I take my CBD oil, I go do some Tai Chi, I go to the beach or whatever, but it definitely did help me quite a bit. And just to be honest,
okay.
Get a lot of that anxiety.
Okay. So, we could share with you some full CBD from our line that'll probably help you out, just moving forward. Training aspect of when we actually were all together. Now,
nice picture.
You remember that?
Yeah, nice picture.
So, yeah, that's me up there on the end. But anyway, what I wanted to share with you is, man, I enjoyed working with you, and the type of people that showed up that weren't pro athletes.
Right.
They really seem to get a lot out of working out, man. So what do you do for the regular Joe like me? What do you do different, or is it the same? What do you do to keep, you have a lot of ladies in your classes, what do you do to keep everybody going and not over like crushing them?
It's just experience. I've dealt with everyone from, a professional athlete to, a woman who just had a baby. So, you name it, I've kind of dealt with it all, from injuries to, I had a 93-year-old man in there at one point, and he had peripheral neuropathy in both his legs. So, I spent a lot of time with him and learning that. So it's just understanding how everybody, and what they need. I'm able to kind of gauge what you require in a workout just from kind of being around you and watching you through the warm up. I'm like, okay, you might be able to handle X amount of weight versus this guy or gal who could handle, heavier weights. So for me, it's just experience. And I have my workouts pretty much set up to where, like, I have, I do a cluster system. So I have 3 clusters laid out, and I have certain exercises laid out. And I already have in my mind, okay, if I'm going to do a metabolic exercise with somebody, I know how much resistance to add this person versus giving them not. I know when to do a metabolic exercise versus just, specific strength training, where I need to run you, or I just understand. And it takes a lot of time being in that environment, and it being kind of like really heavy and in a sense kind of cutthroat for you to just like, hey, okay, I know what this person needs, and I also know what this person needs. So I'm dealing with like 20 to 25 people at one time. And again, it ranges from a professional athlete all the way to, your regular average Joe. So it's just experience, in my opinion, and having a plan, being able to execute that plan and knowing what everybody needs. It's just time, in my opinion.
Yeah. But you're good at it. You're really, really good at it, man. And
to be honest with you, my gym got very popular very quick, right? And it was just an influx of people. So there wasn't much time to sit there and try to figure it out, And, the first rule of business is to stay in business. So I had to spend a lot of time, or I won't say a lot of time, but I just had to figure it out real quick. So I wasn't going to lose this client. So if this client came in and she's, 200 pounds overweight, I have to figure out what to do with her. But at the same time, Aaron Foster is saying, hey, what's the next drill? What's the next exercise? So I had to figure it out and very quickly,
you juggle it. You're serious.
It worked.
That's cool. You did it well.
Thank you.
Now that this new process that you're going through, making the academy. Now, how do guys sign up to be a part of that?
So I'll be transparent. Again, we were supposed to launch this year, and I was just going to run a beta class, right? I was going to use it. I was going to get around 10, 15 students at a high school to come in and take the class, and I was going to test it out. I've never taught in that setting before, or taught, excuse me, in that setting before. So I wanted to take myself through it. I was going to use it as an opportunity to kind of capture some content, and, you know, then that's how I was going to kind of roll it. But for now, if anybody's interested, I also, you know, obviously just do some teaching on my own time. Without me actually rolling it out, you can just contact me. You know, my Instagram handle is here, and if you're on, you can find it. You know, you can find out. I have all my information on there.
That's cool, man. You know, you've mentioned the Zen you.
Nice picture.
You like that one, right?
Yeah, it's a good picture.
You're doing it. I mean, do you do yoga? Do you do some sort of Tai Chi? What do you do to keep, you know, yourself together?
To be frank, I would say probably about 2.5 years ago, you know, I was going through a lot, and I decided to, you know, find an alternate route, you know, to kind of help myself out. I started doing a lot of research on the male psyche and the male anatomy, and just wanted to understand how I functioned in particular. I understood the physical components, meaning, you know, I knew how to get somebody faster, or I knew how to get somebody stronger, you know, bigger, whatever. That wasn't difficult for me, but it started progressing to, okay, I started seeing a lot of issues amongst men that really weren't being addressed, you know, and for me, I wanted to take some time and understand it a little bit. So I started off with yoga. It was actually the first thing I tried. I did a 30-day challenge with some buddies of mine at the time, and it was just yoga. And for me, I wanted to find somewhat of like a stress reliever. For some people, exercising is that thing. That was so much of a job for me that it wasn't a stress reliever because I was too busy working as I was working out. You know, I would watch my form. I'd have mirrors in my gym, and I'd watch my form on how I was exercising. So it was like work to me. So I needed something that was going to give me the ability to move energy within myself, release some energy in a sense. Yoga was okay at first, but then I just started exploring. There was a buddy of mine. He was actually a doctor at my gym at one point. His name is Dr. Emeka. And he introduced me to Tai Chi one day. And I had been doing some research on it, but never had anybody to teach me. And so he taught me one day at my gym, and I fell in love with it. And I probably can't go a day without doing it now. I'm like addicted to it because it's so much like meditation and so much like exercise that I've not found anything that, you know, can compare to moving while you're controlling your body in a beautiful fashion. So that picture behind you, as you can see, I was doing some movements, and it was actually a video recording that I had. It was a video recording of me doing some Tai Chi, and I paused it and I was like, "Yo, this looks dope." So, you know,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna just bounce back to CBD. It looks like somebody just asked, what type of products do you use? Like when you did, was it an oil? Was it a tincture?
It was an oil. They were drops. I think it was. I don't remember the brand name. I can't remember off the top of my head, but
I don't have to.
There you go. There you go. You the man. So no, it was just drops though, and I would take it. I would take one in the morning, and then I would take about 2 or 3 drops at night, just to kind of wind myself down. And again, it definitely helped out with my anxiety quite a bit.
Okay. Well, I want to be able to join you in your Tai Chi.
Man,
you know
what's crazy? You know what's crazy is, so there's a gentleman here in Houston who has kind of taught me. So there's different styles of Tai Chi, right? It's just like martial arts. You know, there's Kung Fu and Jiu-Jitsu. Tai Chi it actually is a form of martial arts, but there's different styles. So I have a gentleman here that's teaching me 2 other styles. And he's like really pushing for me to start teaching classes because he thinks that it'll go. And we've considered and have talked about, you know, maybe moving some classes to a Surfside Beach, you know, just to have some out there, and especially in summertime, it's nice with all this COVID stuff going on. So I may teach some courses a little bit.
Okay. One of the folks asked, "What is tincture?" I use the term tincture, and you know, some people just don't know what that is. So there's ways to administer a CBD product, and I think a lot of people are familiar with the little nipple droplet, and and they actually take it under the tongue. That's the one that you use.
Yes.
But there's different ways of using CBD products, and you have that form. You also have a spray form that you can take as a supplement, and then there's also soft gels that you can take. You know, you can take like a vitamin. There's different ways of taking it that way, and then there's the topical side where you can actually rub it on specific parts of the body directly where the pain is. And you know, we have a roll-on, we have a rub, and we also have a cream that, I mean, man, those I've used it myself, and you know, I just think people need to understand that, you know, there are many ways to get this natural relief, and it's different for everybody. You know, I mean, you know, we're not saying it's a silver bullet, but we're also saying that it is something that gives you an option to add to your toolkit. You know, say, hey, listen, I can add this to my regimen and feel better without using the over-the-counter anti-inflammatories and pain meds. So, you know, that's just, hopefully I answered that person's question.
No, I just, you know, to piggyback off of that, I found that a good portion of what has healed a lot of the athletes that I've dealt with have been, you know, the very holistic approaches. So the CBD oil was one of them that I actually know a guy who I did work with. He was he's still in the NFL. Won't name names, but he's still in the NFL, and he actually still does use a doctor actually made some very heavy CBD oil for him that he actually uses now, pre and post game, as a matter of fact. And it's in it's kind of like in a syringe. Oh wow! Kind of like cake batter almost, but you just take a little dab of a toothpick, and he takes it, and it helps him out quite a bit with a lot of his injuries.
Well, you know, I hear that, and I found we've found that a lot of athletes are preferring to use just a heavier dosage, or they need a heavier dosage because of their weight, because of the high level of intensity, and that's what the Champions and Legends products really are about. They are dosed for the higher intensity athlete, or you know, and how do we define athlete, right? Athlete goes from the pro athlete to the weekend warrior, or that like me, who, you know, my mind is telling me to do things that my body can't catch.
Body is not.
I'm getting out there trying to compete with guys half my age and trying to get it done. But at the same time, that heart to compete, you know, you have to find those tools that give you the that little edge, and that's why this company was put together, and these products were developed. So, you know, that's pretty much the long and the short of it. But you know, is there anything else you want to share with us?
Man, not much. Honestly, I do want to tell everybody, hey man, take this COVID stuff seriously. Like it's no joke. Wear a mask, social distance. Like, don't get me wrong, I have my opinions on America and especially Texas and how they should or shouldn't do things, but you know, just, you know, take care of yourselves out there. Definitely, I know it's tough.
Yeah, well, you know, we are in strange social times right now as well. I mean, we're looking for social things of that nature. So, I mean, I ain't afraid to talk about that as well. So we can talk about that.
We game. Let's go. You know what? So funny is I just left LA, as a matter of fact. I was training a guy out there, Ty Montgomery. He just got picked up by the Saints, but I was training him out there in LA, and we do it every off season. We'll just get away for like 2 weeks to a month and just go somewhere, right? Just training. But we have had and are having some serious conversations. Like we were talking about socialism versus capitalism, obviously just the race issues that are going on right now, and they're interesting. But I encourage people to have them, you know, be very, you know, use some diplomacy when you have them, but you know, those conversations are necessary. I encourage people to talk about these things, you know, and be open to all kinds of different ideas. So, you know, you may learn something, but I'm all game. I don't have a problem. We talk about it.
No, I agree with you. And you know, I've found that though being open to having the conversation, letting people ask even really no dumb questions, but ask the questions that help them understand where they are, whether they are white, black, Hispanic, whatever, because everybody's got questions about this whole situation and where we are right now. And you know, our country is going through some change, and I hope the change continues, you know, forge on and not slide back, right?
And it's going
Yeah.
to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of, like, you know, this is part of the conversation that we were having. I'll just talk about it and hope you don't mind. But, you know, we were talking about how if we really are going to address a lot of the race issues in this country, then you're going to have to talk about all of the things that is this country. So as an example, capitalism, right? And of course, that was one that I mentioned, but it's one we were heavily talking about. Right. We were talking about capitalism and how at some point we're going to have to take a heavy look at how capitalism functions and how it actually perpetuates racism. This whole, you know, in my opinion, I just feel like a good portion of us don't function well inside of capitalism. The whole get up, grind, go get it type thing. Like, I think we're very communal people, right? Like, we care about others. We want to take care of other people. We want to make sure you're good. That's how I function. And so when you talk about capitalism, like, those that kind of function well in it, you kind of have to, in some way, lose your moral compass in order to have some success in it, because it's very cutthroat. It's like dog eat dog world. And I'm not a proponent of that. Like, I want to take care of others and I want them to take care of them and so forth. So,
right. Community.
Right. We are going to have to take a heavy look at capitalism and see how that kind of perpetuates keeping somebody oppressed. And right now, you know, we all know who it is. But
well, yeah, I'm going to talk about that. And then, you know, the police issue. But, you know, one of my really, really good friends, family, are police officers. They're retired. Said, hey, police officers will police themselves when they start getting convicted, right? If you want to talk about the police deal, you know,
that's true.
And you know, that's huge, you know. So I mean, you know, there are a lot of social issues and a lot of things that we can address in that space, and you know, we're here now, and I think we just need to move forward and move through it mindfully and without, you know, without too much consternation in our hearts about it, you know.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you a question. How do you perceive us moving forward in the current situation as smoothly as possible? How do you see it happening?
Well, you know, I said smoothly as possible, but I'm not sure smooth is really the word.
Okay.
Because as long as there is resistance on both sides, you can't have a smooth transition. Okay. Now, I'll just touch on a little bit of history. And in almost every other society where there was, let's just go back to slavery. When that slavery ended, there was an exodus. Right. And those people left that area for a period of time to where all of the things that were related to that went away, right? Yeah. Before they came back. So, I mean, we're not going to have that exodus here, right? So it's just one of those things. Smooth may not be the word, but it has to be deliberate. And I just think that the majority of people, I believe it's more than the majority of people want a peaceful change, and they are community oriented and communal oriented. I think the element of survival keeps people at odds. And going back to your point,
that's capitalism. You know? Capitalism, right, man. Right. Capitalism says it's a very zero-sum mentality. It's almost like you can't win because I have to, and that's what. And I'm not against competition, but I just feel like within the system that we're in, it's gonna forever make somebody go that extra mile, like they all say to do, right? Get whatever type of quote unquote success, which I don't know what the hell that means, but you know, and it's always gonna have you fighting or putting somebody else beneath you or below you in a way in order for you to win. And I again, we all know, you know, what group has been at the bottom. So again, I just, and again, I've had this conversation, and it's like people are just so against eradicating capitalism, but it's all we know. We grew up in this stuff. So I think there may be some other better options out there. We just have to kind of, let's step out of our bubble a little bit and let's figure it out. When COVID happened, right? The initial parts of it, man, I saw people enjoying their lives that I've never seen. Like, you've had people, going on walks together that they probably never have. I saw dads teaching their kids how to ride bikes. The parks were filled up, although they needed a social distance, but they were playing at the parks. Kids were outside. People got away from electronics and TV and everything else, and they were living. And I'm
You
like,
know what?
that's
That is
life.
great. That is a great point. And then in some ways, we're looking at COVID as a blessing because families are coming together and people are being forced to actually look at each other. Instead of just the phone, and that in itself is incredible.
I agree.
And thank you for going down that path.
I
really feel like there's a whole lot of things we can talk about. We can talk sport and we can talk about a lot of things, but that is something that's right there in our faces, and
absolutely.
It needed to be talked about.
It needs to be addressed. It has to be. We can't get away from it anymore.
No, and there's no sense running from it, to tell you the truth.
It's here. Yeah.
Abdul, thank you so much for hanging out with me today.
No problem, brother.
We actually spent the whole hour because Lou didn't quite make it. But, but we'll reschedule him for another, because we want to talk to the champ. We definitely want to talk to him. And
come back.
But thank you so much for making time for me today, man.
No, thank you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
You're the best as well. And maybe you might find a little time to work me out.
I got you, man.
Being a finely tuned machine,
right? When things slow down and everybody's okay and testing comes kick back around, I got you, man. Don't worry about it.
Exactly. Well, peace and love to you, man. And we'll
absolutely, brother.
Sure. All right.
Sir, I will. Thank you again, brother. I appreciate you.
My pleasure. Cheers.
All right, boss. Peace.
What a great conversation. Abdul is a really, really smart guy, and I always look forward to chopping it up with him. I have behind me here the Champions and Legends website for you to go to and see what's going on with Champions and Legends. This is the Weekly Warrior Happy Hour, where we get together with gym owners and fitness professionals. We get together with pro athletes, ex-pro athletes. We get together with healthcare professionals to give us the insights that we need to be the best version of ourselves every day. So please go to championsandlegends.com, like us right here at Champions and Legends, and man, just be the best version of yourself. Remember, you can actually go and sign up to win cool swag, product, a live with James Harrison or Thor. I'm going to be announcing more athletes that are coming on board after having used our products. Like I said, we have CrossFitters, we have mountain climbers, we have guys that are just doing extreme sports that have enjoyed using the Champions and Legends products and are going to be joining us. Now, again, we launched July 1st, and we're having fun now. So thanks again for joining us, and we will talk to you next week on the Weekly Warrior Happy Hour, brought to you by Champions and Legends, who produces CBD-based sports supplements for athletic preparation, performance, and recovery. Cheers.